is the yellow route, as they call it.
Who calls it that?
I'm making I'm making a joke on it's the golden route. Rev.
What up, everybody? This is Spam. I'm here with joshuadragonpillow.
Yeah, it's me.
We're here presenting a speedrun that we did of Fire Emblem Fates on the Revelation route in the draft racing category. If you're new to the channel and you don't know what a draft race is, first of all, I don't know how you found this video, but second of all, real quick, draft race. Race is pretty self-explanatory. We're playing a Fire Emblem game competitively against other people as fast as we can. Now, drafting comes in to make the race a little more interesting, because Fire Emblem is a series that often features like 30 or 40 characters in the playable cast, and you're only allowed to use a few of those over the course of the game, so you'll end up using only a certain number of units. That's way less than the amount in the game, and some units are better than others. So if we were unrestricted in this race we're doing, everybody would use the same good units to do the same strategies for the most part. So what we do instead is we'll draft units as if we're a sports team, taking turns picking one at a time, and then we're only allowed to use those units which we have drafted. Anything to add, Josh?
No, that's how drafting works.
That's how drafting,
drafting works in serpentine order.
Yes, that's like the one difference from drafting for a sports team. So to give the third position here less of a disadvantage, they would choose the third overall and then the fourth overall pick. Before looping around, the fifth pick would go to the second position, and then finally the sixth pick to the first position. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about the units that we drafted when we did this speedrun. So
what team are we, man?
We're Team Mista 95, who is the top team on this tier list. We were lucky enough to be awarded the first overall pick in the race. We used that pick to take your unit named Jakob. See, when you draft for a game like this, the ultimate goal is to beat the game as fast as possible. And you have to consider the roles that a unit would fill in order for you to want to have them on your team. Now, the most common role that you want to be looking to draft for, and in most cases, the unit that you would take first, is the unit that's going to be doing all of your combat. That unit is referred to as a carry. And the ideal carry is one who you get at the beginning of the game. They can fight every unit they come across, and they can defeat every unit that they come across in one round of combat. In this game, there are actually a few choices for units who do all that. It sounds pretty demanding, but the game is lenient enough that you do have some options. Out of all those options, Jakob joins the earliest. He doesn't remain the fastest for the entirety of the game, but he does have other advantages that I'll get to in a second. Do you agree with all of that so far?
Oh yeah, sure. Go off.
Cool, thank you. The next thing to consider is that in this game in particular, rather than just playing the main story chapters, there are side quest chapters as well. And one of the rules is that you must complete a side quest chapter and recruit a character from that side quest chapter before you complete the game. There are... Yes?
No, go on.
There are faster side quest chapters than others, and the one that Jakob grants access to is the fastest out of all of them. So because he is a fairly strong combat carry, one of the stronger combat carries, I'll be generous, and he grants access to the fastest paralogue. He's the best unit to pick first. There are other considerations as well. There are like some minor things that he does that other teams will have to spread out throughout their other draft picks. But getting first pick there and knowing that we have access to one incredibly strong pick right now, and then we wait a while before we get a less good draft pick for our second position, we want to take somebody who fills as many roles as possible. And thus Jakob is the logical choice. Other teams also picked units who filled those same roles in their first two positions, or first 1 and 2 positions. And then when it came back to us, since we had already taken care of most of what we need with Jakob, we went on to pick units who are strong in combat in like a few chapters as opposed to all of them when we need an additional fighter. We picked some units with Royal Blood to activate Dragon Veins, which is a mechanic specific to Fire Emblem Fates. And we picked units who are strong at providing pair-up supports, which is a mechanic unique to Fire Emblem on the 3DS. So in a Fire Emblem draft race, in addition to the units that you choose, every team will also have access to a set of free units for part or for the entire game. This game features 3 free units. They're pictured on the board there where it says free. It does look like there are 4, but the first 2 are actually the same person, so bear with me. The first 2 on the board represent the playable avatar, and their default name is Corrin. Corrin is free for the first 10 chapters of the game, but being the main character, they are force deployed on every subsequent map as well. Now, what does it mean to be banned and yet still be on the map? Well, in the case of Corrin, you're not allowed to actually fight anybody with Corrin, but Corrin is allowed to be the back unit of a pair-up. And as such, Corrin can provide pair-up bonuses to any unit that you have deployed. Corrin also is really impactful because at the beginning of the game, you will be able to customize them with a talent of your choice and a boon and a bane stat of your choice. The talent is very important because even though Corrin is never allowed to reclass out of their default class, Corrin is allowed to pass via supports that class to another unit. In our case, that's Jakob. So Jakob can get an additional class of our choice. The stat boon and the stat bane matter a little less, but they are nonetheless important because the boon and the bane of a character allows you to customize that character's pair of bonuses. And we'll get more into this later, but essentially that means that we're giving Jakob the best stats that we can. Any more notes about Corrin, Joshua?
No, that's it about Corrin.
That's it about Corrin. The next free unit on the list there is Azura. She is available for the entire game, and she is free because she is a refresher unit. In this game, she takes the form of a songstress, and by refreshing a unit, you can make any unit you want have 2 actions per turn where they would normally have 1. This is way too powerful of a tool to relegate to just one team and a draft pick, so it's pretty standard to have a dancer or similar unit be free for all to use. And she is the only free unit in this race who is free for the entirety of the game. That final unit there is Gunter, the old man. He is the early game retainer that many Fire Emblem games feature, and as such he is really strong in the first few chapters of the game and would be an extremely valuable asset to just one team if he was draftable like every other unit was. So for that reason, he is free until chapter 13, and for the rest of the game, he is banned. I don't remember if he is allowed to be drafted, but I don't think anyone wanted to anyway.
He's not allowed to be drafted.
Gunter is not allowed to be drafted by anybody. He is exclusively available from the beginning to chapter 13. So now, on to the actual run. The first half of the game will be played by myself, Spam, and the second half will be played by Joshua.
It's me.
That's him. We're going to start off by creating our Corrin. Like I said earlier, the talent, the boon, and the bane are the only things that's going to matter here as far as customization goes. We give her a ninja talent, and that's really important because there are two ninja skills that we really want to give to Jacob, and the only way that he can acquire those is by getting the ninja class from Corrin via marriage, by raising their support all the way. And the strength boon we'll get more into later. The first chapter of this game is the prologue, where the game just kind of puts enemies in front of you and tells you to attack them, but it turns out it's faster to just wait. Saves about 6 seconds over attacking them. The first reason that the strength boon that we gave Corrin was important is going to come up right now. Chapter 1 involves a 1v1 against Xander, who is a strong opponent. So usually, this is the game's way of showing you that you have to use healing tiles sometimes to heal your HP, and that's exactly what this Corrin is going to do. But Corrin with an HP boon would be able to simply attack Xander without stopping until you win the 1v1. So in this chapter specifically, an HP boon is about 5 seconds faster. Strength boon is better for the rest of the game, so we took it instead, but HP boon is pretty based, I must say. Mm-hmm. Chapter 2, we're going to get our second free unit, and that's Gunter. Normally, the fastest way to approach this chapter is to run straight at the enemies with only Corrin and Gunter. But we do have Jakob here, so he is going to come along as well. And that's for an important reason. Typically in Fire Emblem speedrunning, it is fastest to use as few units as possible in order to achieve your goals. But here we're using an extra unit in Jakob. And he just did a dual strike with Corrin. You'll see hearts appearing above their heads. That means that they got a support point. As long as they can get one support point in this chapter, they'll be on pace for reaching their C support on time for Chapter 7. So now that they're done with that, we'll have Corrin and Gunter dual strike the other boss, Kaze, and we'll finish the chapter on player phase in only 3 turns. Enemy phase. Chapter 3, the next chapter, is going to start the general trend of during a siege chapter or a kill boss chapter or otherwise, you want to just march your one unit at the boss, fight everyone in the way, and then get there as quickly as possible. So to that end, we're moving only Corrin, and we're moving her as quickly as we can with like fast practiced inputs.
The Gunter pair up here is extremely important, actually. Gunter's personal skill is the ultimate in Corrin favoritism, and gives her 3 additional damage and 15 additional hit, which is extremely good against this boss, who otherwise is quite shaky hit against.
That's right, and if you try to fight him without that 3 additional hit, you won't be able to kill him in only 2 rounds of combat, which is really slow, for a reason that we'll see in a second. Fortunately, though, we do, which is why this is the speed run that we're showing you. But if we were to not kill that boss in time, there's some reinforcements that are about to show up, and they would be wasting time by flying over. Chapter 4 does not involve a new free unit, but it might as well, because we're about to be joined by the green unit, Ryoma. If you've ever played this game before, you know that Ryoma is the most powerful sword master to ever have wielded a sword. And in this chapter especially, he can run faster than us, and he can one-shot everything that gets in his way. And he can do it faster because, as a green unit, he actually doesn't have an experience bar, unlike Corrin. So while we're gonna have Corrin fight these first the enemies on this first mountain in front of her. Once she's taken care of those, she's just going to sit back and watch as Ryoma takes care of everybody else.
We do have Rinka as well. She was a drafted unit. We've paired her to Corrin for this map for the additional strength and defense.
That's right. That additional strength and defense is going to be really nice because Corrin is fighting the boss right now. And both of them did miss, but if he did damage to her, then he would have done significantly less with the defense pair-up, and so she would be able to just stand there and keep attacking as opposed to worrying about healing or anything like that.
You can position in such a way that you can bait this boss to attack Ryoma, but we did not do that because we want the EXP.
Yeah, it takes Corrin forever to reach her EXP benchmarks in the first place, so getting her this boss XP is extremely nice. Normally, when you clear this map using Ryoma can make it to the final enemy on turn 8, and this clear is no exception. But if he had moved in a certain way, he would need to be farther ahead than he is right now. In rare circumstances, you can actually clear the map on turn 7. And if he does that, you skip this enemy attacking Sakura, so it does save a bit of time. It is unusual though, so I didn't go and reset for it or anything. Chapter 5, I do this differently from everyone else. Every time somebody popped into the voice chat and saw me doing this strategy, they said something along the lines of, I have no idea what you're doing. What I'm doing is I'm being very aggressive and sending Corrin all the way in with a max rage dance from Azura. I do this because it was the first thing I thought of, and it works pretty consistently as long as you get like 2 points of any type of bulk during the course of the first 5 chapters. But Corrin one-shots every enemy here. She is really scared of that combination that she just got attacked by, the Worm Slayer and the Dark Mage. She can pretty much always live here. I've only seen her die 1 time, although this is a very bulk-screwed Corrin, so that was closer there than it usually does. She is going to use both remaining uses of her Vulnerary, however, and that's so that she can be at full health by the time that she reaches the boss to attack him. Azura, our 3rd free unit, is here now. She's been dancing for Corrin every turn. That's so that Corrin can attack 2 enemies per turn. Otherwise, dancing is surprisingly slow. Actually, it's faster in most instances to just take the extra turn than it is to complete 2 actions on the same turn, and that's what I'm going to do here. But finally, Corrin does reach the boss, and now we are out of the prologue section of the game, that being before the route split. Since this is a Revelation route draft race, I'm sure you all know which route we're going to take.
Birthright.
Incorrect.
Oh man, wrong again.
So we do refuse to choose a side here, and that does get us to the Revelation route. Jakob is back. He was gone for the last few chapters. We didn't say anything, so not sure if you noticed. But if you pair him up to Corrin right here, that gives Corrin enough speed to double this first boss. I'm going to pay attention to how much damage she does. She does 16. 16 is the benchmark I want to see, because with 16 damage, that means she has enough strength to one-shot the second boss. And if she didn't reach that benchmark, if she did 14 or 15 damage, for example, she could have instead separated from Jakob, who would have finished him off with a dual strike. But because they were paired up for that chapter, Corrin and Jakob now have their second support point, which means that they've unlocked their C support. And this is going to be a really important piece in Jakob's training, which is going to happen next chapter. Before we get to that, we're going to get the free DLC items that are included in this race. They're included because if they were not, then it would have been way too hard to find good carries, and we didn't want to deal with that, so we just said let's use all these items here. Those items give us access to DLC exclusive classes that are really good at carrying this game, those being Dreadfighter and Dark Dwyer. Jakob, as a physical carry, is going to do it as a Dreadfighter, which means he gets access to shurikens. Shurikens are extremely strong because they are unrestricted 1-2 range weapons. Normally in Fire Emblem,
you have to make a detour into Paladin.
That's right. For the first half of this map, you'll see like Jakob training up in Paladin. Paladins can use swords and lances. Fortunately, we have a spare lance lying around in Azura's inventory, which means we don't need to go to the armory. And that means that instead of going to the armory, I can build the rod shop and take care of all the shopping that I need to do before the level 2 shop opens up later. In general, the fewer shop visits we can get away with, the better. So that's where Jakob bought the Heart Seal in order to class change to Paladin. And while he's in Paladin, he's going to learn several important skills. First one being right now. Jakob is in a unique situation where he joins as a level 1 promoted class, but he gains experience as if he's a level 1 unpromoted class. So because he gains experience so quickly, he's going to learn a lot of skills right now. And the skill he just learned is called Elbow Room, which gives him 3 additional damage when he is on a tile that does not have any terrain effects, also known as most of the tiles. He's also going to... He just picked up another skill called Shelter, which we're never going to use, so it's not important. And he's about to learn a 3rd skill called Defender, which gives him +1 to every stat as long as he is paired up, which is basically all the time. So with the addition of those 3 skills, Jakob is done with the Paladin class. He's now going to use the Dread Scroll to become the Dreadfighter that we talked about earlier. As a Dreadfighter, he can use shurikens and knives. He can use other weapons as well, but those are the important ones. He had a dagger in his inventory already because he joined with that as a butler, and because he cannot use the bronze lance anymore, the game automatically equips that dagger right now, which lets him counter the enemies at 2 range immediately. In true Jakob fashion, he's going to go ahead and learn even more skills really quickly. The Dreadfighter skills he's about to learn are ones that raise your resistance to magic under certain circumstances. And using his new 1-2 range, he's going to march through the rest of the map, not worrying about the enemies who are attacking him, because he can counter and one-shot all of them. We just picked up a chest key in the last room. We're going to use that right now on this chest next room, because that chest drops 5,000 gold. Money is going to be really tight for us for the rest of the game, and we go out of the way to pick this chest up to alleviate that slightly. I think that we have to worry about money more so than most other carries because of the amount of seals that we're going to have to buy in the course of the game.
One other thing, there is one other skill active at this time, and that's Corrin's personal skill, Supportive, which gives additional damage to any, while she is the backpack, to any unit who has a C support or higher with her.
Yes, and that's why we went out of our way in 2 of the previous chapters in order to get them those 2 support points that I pointed out earlier. The boost from Corrin's Supportive plus the boosts from Strength and Defense tonics made it so that Jakob was one-shotting all of the enemies in that chapter while being functionally immortal. With all the fighting they did last map, they got their B support, which will increase the stats given on pair up by even more. But on turn 1, we just wait. And the reason we're just waiting at the beginning instead of running straight towards the boss, like I mentioned, was the general strat for kill boss chapters such as this one, is that there are all these enemies at the bottom of the screen who are going to chase us. And if we run away from them, it's going to take them longer to catch us. And so we have to watch them move every turn. So it is actually much faster and easier to just wait here and watch them run into us instead.
Now that they are dead, we will proceed to hold the forward button and watch everything die.
Correct. But on this next turn, we're actually going to hold back by 1 square, and that's just a cheeky little trick because I want to run towards that ninja instead of having that ninja run towards me.
Why is that?
Because it's faster to not watch him move. And if he hits me first, then he'll debuff me. From this square right here, there are 2 enemies that bodyguard the boss, but I can actually outrange both of them. And because Jakob's stats are so stupidly good, he can one-round the boss. Korin cannot do that consistently. Chapter 9 is another chapter with a boss that can be hard to can give you a hard time, especially if you're not able to kill him in 1 round. That's because if he's low on health, he gains an ability that gives him additional avoid, and if you've played Fire Emblem before, you know that avoid can be a pain in the butt. But right now,
Luckily,
we're going to class change Gunter with another of the free stat boosters that we talked about. He's going to change into Dark Falcon, and he's not going to need any weapons, but the important thing about Dark Falcon is that it can fly. If you look at this map, there's a lot of gaps where your units can't like really traverse. So we're going to have Jakob pair up with Gunter, and Gunter is going to fly the both of them all the way over to the boss, and he'll be assisted by this wind mechanic. So on only turn 2, we now have Jakob within range of fighting the boss. Jakob's standing, if you notice, on a tile that's got no terrain effects, rather than standing on the stairs, which would give him extra avoid. That's because of his skill Elbow Room. He wants those 3 extra points of damage in order to one-shot all the enemies, and now one-round this boss. Teams that drafted a flyer carry would have simply flown over there instead, but we didn't draft a flyer carry, but we made our own in the form of Gunter. Now on to Chapter 10. Chapter 10 has a lot of snow, which you can see, and that snow is actually attackable. When you break a snow tile, you'll also reveal enemies who are hidden in that snow, and they'll be able to attack us on enemy phase. The thing about these enemies is that they often are holding valuable items or like stat boosting items. So if you fight any enemies, it's a loss of time, but a gain of something else. So what we're going to try to do is avoid fighting as many enemies as possible, making sure the ones we do fight drop something that's worth getting. So we just killed that Cavalier who dropped the Men's Staff, and in a moment we're going to reveal a couple of mages and another Cavalier. These mages are dropping valuable items, and then the horse drops 5,000 gold. And again, we want all that gold because money is going to be really tight in this run. There is evidently a way to avoid this final group of enemies, but we're fighting them because 1, the money is too valuable to pass up, and 2, because I found this line through the chapter that just goes like left twice and then diagonally up straight to the Seas tile, and I thought that was so easy that I didn't feel like looking into any alternate ways to get through here. So that's what we did.
Jakob just picked up his last skill in Dread Fighter, which is Aggressor. Aggressor is one of the most powerful skills in the game, as it gives you +7 damage when you initiate an attack.
That's right. So for those keeping track, that's 7 damage from Aggressor, 2 damage from Korin's Supportive, 3 damage from Elbow Room, and 1 damage from Defender. All from just Jacob's skills. That's not even factoring in his strength or the might of his weapon or the para bonuses that he gets from Corn.
Or any tonics that we've given him either.
Exactly. The degree to which you can stack up your skills in Fates is frankly disgusting.
We aren't done.
That's right. But for now, that's the best we can do. We're on chapter 11 now, which is a route map. And that means that we have to fight all the enemies in the chapter, which is inherently pretty slow. There's a couple of things we can do to speed this map up. If you notice, there's a big spike trap in the middle of the map that you can see right now. And those spike traps are triggered by dropping your unit in a particular place. There's no way to avoid this first one, so we eat it. But from now on, we're only going to trigger one more trap the rest of the map. It's possible that the flying carries would be able to skip that. In fact, I bet they can. But only triggering 2 is pretty good for a grounded carry like Jacob. The other thing that we're doing by not triggering the traps is making sure that we don't have to watch units take damage from them. If you do trigger a trap, then you take damage at the beginning of the turn, and then any enemies that are there take damage on the beginning of their turn. And it's just a lot of wasted time. But even though Jacob doesn't fly, if you watch here, he can actually run from one side of the map to the other pretty quickly. And that's because the phase shifts from player to enemy phase in this game are like extremely fast, actually. The beginning of this map had 3 green units, which we recruited by talking to the ninja Saizo. One of them is actually it was one of our drafted units. Her name is Reina. She is a Kinshi Knight, and she was mostly drafted because she is a promoted unit with good stats. So once in a while, if we need another unit to do some fighting, Reina's going to help us out. And the first enemy she's going to fight is right now. That was not a particularly difficult enemy to fight, but it was a kind of a difficult enemy to reach. Jacob ran around the whole map, so obviously he's over there, but Reina with her flight reached it easier than anyone else could have. And because she attacked that enemy, we save 1 turn, since that enemy does not attack us on enemy phase. Chapters 12 and 13 are both going to be chapters in which we can easily skip it by flying toward the boss, just like in chapter 9. And because it's not chapter 13 yet, we do still have Gunter available as a free unit, so he's going to fly us over for this one. We can make it over in just 1 turn with a dance from Azura, making this the second chapter in which Azura is deployed, I think. And then Jacob is so strong because of all the skills he has that he's just able to one-shot the boss. Chapter 13 is going to look kind of similar to that, but it is a little larger of a map, so we can't reach in just 1 turn.
We do, however, get our next unit that we drafted.
That's right. Her name is Camilla, and she is very famous for being a strong unit with good stats. And in fact, that's the reason we drafted her. As a flyer, we're going to use Camilla this time to fly Jacob. And we're just going to skip past that mechanic of grabbing and setting obstacles because it does not matter, and it only appears in this chapter of this game. So Jacob and Camilla are going to fly to the boss here, and the reason that Camilla was selected instead of Gunter is that he and Jacob actually have a support. So if they're able to reach their key level support this chapter, they can potentially give each other boosts later on in the game.
Another interesting trait about Jacob is that because he's treated, despite being promoted, he's treated as a level 1 unit, as we discussed earlier. This means that he gains levels very quickly. So if he capped at 20, it would kind of really hinder his ceiling. So they decided that actually no, he gets to cap at 40. And because Dreadfighter's a special class, he gets to cap at level 60. So we still have a lot of level ups to go.
That's right. This is our second shopping section of the game. You see we just picked up some ore. We're going to be picking up all the ore we see for use later. But right now we're going to upgrade the shops. This next chapter is pretty demanding strategically. It was certainly my most interesting chapter to plan for. It's also the last one that I'm playing for my section. So we upgrade the shops here in case we need to buy any special items for our units when they go to the chapter. But because of our particular loadout here of Jakob and Camilla, we only need to buy 2 shurikens for Jakob, and we're actually set with items. Camilla can just use the bronze axe that Rinka brought, and it's in the convoy right now. Also buying some tonics, and then we're done with the shopping. So let me pull up my map for Chapter 14. Chapter 14 is a route map, and I've made this little visual aid here with that shows all of the enemies on the map. The way that I planned for this map was actually splitting up the map into 4 zones of enemies. We have our dread fighter Jakob, who cannot fly, so he's going to be limited in where he can go on the map. But our dread fighter can always go to the right and around the corner, all the way down to that right side boat, and take care of that zone labeled 1, which looks like a J for Jakob. Next are zones 2, 3, and 4. Ideally, for this strategy to work, we want to have a strong flyer who can take care of at least 2 of those zones. The strongest of the flyers that are available right now is Camilla, which makes her the ideal pick for this job. She's using the bronze axe right now that Rinka brought to the convoy. And with only 5 extra points of strength, she can one-round all of the paladins that are on this side of the map. Which, if you haven't played a lot of Fates, 5 points of strength might sound like a lot, but we gave her a strength tonic for 2, and we gave her Baruka pair up for 3 more, and there's 5 points of strength right there. So now Camilla is able to one-round everyone with just the bronze axe, and that's really important because that makes her guard gauge setup consistent, since she is never able to crit the enemy, and since she is really likely to always hit the enemy. So she just cleared out zone 2, and she'll be flying down to the bottom left corner of the map next to clear out zone 4. There are some archers down there, which make it difficult for some of the other flyers to do the same thing, but we did consider Takumi and Hayato for this same role if we did not get Camilla. Hayato, of course, was chosen in round 1 by the other team, so we're not going to get him here. That just leaves the 3 enemies in zone 3, and there are a lot of draftable units who can take care of them. Notably, Selena can do it, Eaton can do it, Kaden can do it, but all of those units are footlock. So they need to take 2 or 3 turns to walk over to zone 3, and also to let the fighter on the other side break the wall so that the enemies can come to them and attack them. Instead, we drafted Reyna. Reyna is one of the flyers that could have done multiple zones here, but because we already have Camilla, Reyna is the best choice for zone 3 because she can simply fly over on turn 1, and then you don't have to wait for the units to break the wall or walk over there. She's already done after you move her on turn 1. So let me bring that back up. Now Camilla's about to get fought by that archer, but because she was able to use the bronze axe for the entire chapter, it set up her guard gauge now so that she'll always block this first attack from the archer because he always goes first. But even if the archer hit, the enemies over there actually just don't have enough damage to ever kill her. Like that mercenary has more attack than everyone else, and he still only did 2 damage to her. So there's really nothing to be afraid of for her. With that, she's going to clean that up, and then Jakob is going to take care of the one remaining enemy on the other side of the map. We're going to complete this thing on turn 6, which is the turn before any reinforcements appear. They appear on enemy phase. Now we're out of here. And with that, I'll end my timer since I spam only played the first half. I then passed the save file over to Joshua, who played the second half, which we are going to pull up next. So we're getting into the second half of this game now. This section played by Joshua. Unfortunately, there is no game audio. I'm going to be playing music to fill the silence, and Joshua will be talking about the strats that he in 5, 3.
So I begin by going to the rod shop to pick up 2 partner seals, which Spam did not get in the previous chapter because we figured out too late that we needed these. Chapter 15 is very basic. We do this thing called going upstairs. There's not really a whole lot to say about it.
How many sets
outside
of
of a couple of
stairs do you need to
specific
climb?
movement. What? It is worth noting, though, that we do need to start paying attention to Jakob's stats. He needs to have, at the end of the game, he needs at least 29 strength, and I believe capped speed, or so. And he's doing okay on his strength pace, but he is a bit behind on speed. We move to this corner here to dodge 2 combats. We would be fighting those samurai otherwise, but now we don't have to. We can go up here to dodge the fighter, or Oni chief, Oni savage, rather.
Oh, there's some of
Now
that
we
speed
killed
he
the boss?
needed.
What?
There's some of that speed he needed.
That's true, yeah. This is a seize map, so we next turn we seize and we get out of here on turn 6. We go to chapter 16. We also get Felicia, who we don't have. So chapter 16 has a couple of things. We get 2 units here on our draft. One is Ryoma, the other is Azama. They're going to be doing a lot of work on this chapter. Ryoma is free on this chapter for every team because what he does here is pretty important. Because we have him drafted, we needed to draft another unit to pair to him for his guard gauge. We chose Azama because he can use the rescue staff, which he did not end up needing. This chapter has lava pillars on it, as you can see. They obstruct the path, so, and they are random based on what I can tell. There's about 7 configurations, I think. Not entirely sure. And each one requires you to go differently. You can change their locations with a dragon vein use, but that takes time, so I prefer not to do that. This is defeat boss map. Hans is in the top right. He's the boss. Ryoma has really good combat against him, so we're just going to kill him with Ryoma. We just go over here. We use this movement specifically so Ryoma does not get blocked. Which we can only do because the lava pillar was convenient for us. Ryoma gained a level up, which allowed us to get Astra. That'll be potentially useful later. This small movement here is to dodge one enemy.
If Ryoma was not free in this chapter, how much slower would it be to walk up with Jakob and do the same thing?
About 50 seconds, maybe a minute. Depends on lava pillars.
Oh, so does Ryoma being free help prevent against that randomness?
Yeah.
That's good.
Flyer teams don't actually need it though, it's because they have additional movement. We now move on to Chapter 17. Chapter 17 is a seize map. We have to seize the fort that the boss is on. As you can see, we are deploying quite a few people, which we don't normally do. In addition, we're going to give Jakob the Ebon Wing to turn him into a Dark Flyer.
That's our second Dark Flyer of the run. And if I'm not mistaken, and our last one, since we only have 2 seals. If I'm not mistaken, they use lances and tomes, correct?
That is correct.
I don't see Jakob with either of those.
That is correct. We're also going to promote Corin here.
Yeah, she reached level 9 in Chapter 7, and it took her all the way until just now to reach level 10.
The reason we promote her is because her pair-up will now give 2 additional points of defense. Anyway, this movement here is very specific. This Sing allows us to get all the way down here, and we move over here, so that way Ryoma kills this one guy to protect some undrafteds from potentially seeing combat and wasting time. We did not equip Jakob with any weapons he can use in this class, because if we accidentally do too much damage to that general, he's going to run back and get healed, and that takes time, which we don't want.
But he still needs to fight the boss, doesn't he?
That's correct. He does need to fight the boss, because the boss is standing on the fort that we need to seize. So that partner seal that I bought in Chapter 15 is going to come in handy right now, as we become a Master Ninja. Now, Master Ninja is pretty questionable. It has really low strength, but it does have a couple of skills that we really do need. One of which we'll get right now in Lock Touch. We're going to drop Clarity for it.
And this Lock Touch is the entire reason why we gave Corin the ninja talent at the beginning of the game. There is a door that you have to open in order to beat the game, and the easiest way is with Lock Touch.
We gain some strength and some speed there. Very good. We get 2 useless skills, and we do get one other skill, though, that will matter in 2 level ups from now. But that's the whole chapter. We're going to seize the moment we get control of our character again. That's Chapter 17. Moving on to Chapter 18, we're going to begin by storing all of our items, then grabbing everything that I need from the convoy. This includes Xander Siegfried. We do have him drafted. We drafted him really late. We only need him to pop a few Dragonbanes for us. But in case things go wrong, there is a backup strat that does involve him attacking, and there's no better weapon for him than his personal sword. And now we will sell 90% of our inventory.
Is there anything that you're keeping here?
Only the things that we can't sell. We're going to grab a rescue staff, 5 concoctions, and all the tonics I'm going to need for the rest of the run. I apparently determined the number was 6. And we're going to immediately fire them off onto Jakob and Ryoma. These are the two units that are going to be seeing a lot of combat on this chapter.
Yeah, when the draft pick...
So Ryoma... No, go ahead.
When the draft pick came back to us, we expected to be able to choose either Camilla or Ryoma, or maybe Xander. We did not expect to be able to draft both, but that's what we did. So now, essentially, what we're left with is a Ryoma with wings.
That's right. So this map has 8 dragon veins. We need to trigger all of them at some point. That's going to destroy the rock at this bottom island where we start, which will reveal a teleporter which will allow us to teleport to the boss. We'll begin by moving our 2 main combat units over to the left here. Jakob's going to handle this little middle section where there's a bunch of guys who move, and Ryoma's going to grab this bottom dragon vein. Ryoma's paired with Camilla because Camilla can both fly and also grab dragon veins herself, which allows us to speed up this chapter by 1 turn. In addition, these dragon veins, if they stay open too long, they'll spawn reinforcements, which is bad because we don't want to spend more time fighting than we have to.
This is a race, after all, that's determined by real time, so any few seconds we can save are going to be a huge asset.
You'll notice that I have both Xander and Reyna with Azura attached, just chilling on the teleporters. They'll teleport soon, I promise. We grab our last skill for Master Ninja, which is Shuriken Fair. Shuriken Fair gives us an additional 5 damage on all Shuriken or dagger attacks.
In addition to the aggressor, and the elbow room, and the defender, and the supportive, we've probably stacked more damage from skills now than Jakob provides from, like, his strength.
It is a lot of damage from skills. Ryoma's going to kill this guy here. It takes 2 turns unless you get a lucky Astra or crit, which unfortunately we didn't, but that's okay. Because we're still going to beat all the reinforcements that we want to beat. Xander's going to grab this one right there. We're going to go over here, kill this maid, because she does not have a weapon to attack us, and then grab the other dragon vein here.
Now, the one disadvantage of Jakob... Oh, yes. The one disadvantage of Jakob in this chapter versus a unit like Sakura is that he cannot pop dragon veins himself. And so if there's any that he needs to get, he must first switch to Corrin, because Corrin has royal blood and he doesn't.
That's right. So we're going to go over here onto this teleporter. And we're going to go through the teleporter with Camilla, go up here, and then switch back to Ryoma to kill this guy. They have a 1 turn to do all of this. Because if they do it any later, reinforcements will show up. We do this completely ridiculous maneuver over here in order for Xander to pop this dragon vein literally across the entire map. Also, Azura, of course, needed to be attached to Reyna, so that way they could separate and be in that position, while Azura is also on the dragon vein, because she also has royal blood, so she can pop dragon veins too.
I mentioned Ryoma with wings, but now we've got Xander with wings too.
We use Jakob to kill this guy, and Ryoma and Camilla are going to fly back to the starting point, where they're just going to go over here. Xander with wings is going to go over here and pop this dragon vein. We're going to grab the teleporter and end our turn. We've got 1 last dragon vein to get. We're going to grab it with Ryoma with wings. We'll just kind of wait. Unfortunately, there's no way to beat this guy. I did try for a long time, and there's really not a great way to do it.
It does seem reasonably fast to just take the extra turn, as opposed to anything else you could have done there.
Anyway, we'll grab the last Dragon Vein, go with our team, and the next turn I go through the teleporter and kill the boss.
Did he not have the movement to make it last turn?
No. But this was a significant improvement over a lot of my previous times before developing the strategy.
A very impressive 8 Cs clear of that chapter.
And now we move on to Chapter 19, which is really cool because you just hit the go button. No tonics or anything. We just attach ourselves to. We just attach Corn to Jacob, and then we go. All these enemies have green weapons. We haven't talked about weapon colors yet, actually. So in this game, we have weapon colors. Each weapon is assigned a color. You have red weapons, those are swords and tomes. Blue weapons, which are lances and daggers / shurikens. And green weapons, which are bows and axes. It follows normal weapon triangle rules, so lances beat swords, axes beat lances, swords beat axes, but that also extends to their secondary weapon type.
And if you can't remember it by colors, just think of starter Pokemon.
Anyway, daggers are blue, and blue loses to green. All those enemies we just fought were green, but we bought the dual shuriken, so that way we had really good combat against them. The dual shuriken reverses the weapon triangle. We're going to place Ryoma over there on the right. We're going to place Camilla over here. Or Ryoma on the left, Camilla on the right. Ryoma has to fight one whole enemy, but doing that actually saves us like 2 turns because we don't have to kill that enemy with Jacob. There's a handful of different units that can kill this enemy, including Kaden. Unpromoted.
Nice. Is that because of his beast foe skill?
Yeah, because of his beast foe skill. Yeah, Keaton can do it too. There's some other units who can. We position here on this fort because it allows us to avoid fighting 3 enemies. If you're behind on stats or on EXP, you can fight those additional enemies. You just position 1 to the left. Big speed there. We switched to Camilla here. Camilla has no weapons, so she won't do any combat here, but she is not going to die, and they conveniently leave a path open to us to fight the boss. So we fight the boss. This is a defeat boss chapter. So we're out of here. Next, we move to chapter 21. We start by upgrading all the stuff. We do get pretty lucky here. I'm not gonna lie. We need a bunch of ore, and we get 2 4s here, which means we'll have all the ore we need for all of the forging that we have to do right now. So we need to buy a sting and 2 steels. We need one of those ores to hit 4. So that way we have enough quartz to do all the forging that we need. We actually have 1 extra quartz this time. We need 5. We make the Ting Shuriken and the Eel Shuriken. Very important to name these. I was not willing to compromise on that for time.
Those seconds pay for themselves.
That's true, they do. We're not going forward. On to chapter 21. This chapter has this cool gimmick where depending on the color floor the enemies are standing on, they'll either become promoted or unpromoted. This does not affect our strategy in any way, but it is a gimmick that this chapter has. We pair with Xander. This is our first Xander pair so far for Jakob. Xander gives strength and defense, which is marginally better than what Camilla gives. We also need 1 point of movement, which they both give. But if we didn't have Xander, we'd just use Camilla.
Yeah. Did you ever activate the support between Jakob and Camilla?
I did.
Okay. So
Because I needed it for last chapter.
Oh, good. So it was worth it that I went for it earlier.
Yeah. It does give me marginally better survivability in a couple of maps where we are using Camilla. We go over here to the left. This fights slightly less enemies, and also allows us access to grabbing this chest. We have lock touch, remember? So we can just grab it. We'll get the boots. We take some pretty meaty damage from this archer, actually, which is pretty rough. But nothing we can't heal off with a concoction. We go down here because these enemies are not at all threatening. And we're going to run right on the next turn and end the map the turn after. Boss does move to attack you. So you just need to be in the boss's range. We kill this guy. And this puts us out of range of the sniper. The sniper will attack you first if you are in his range.
He's just a really important sniper, I guess.
He has killed me before. He has crit on you. Darkflyer Jakob returns for chapter 22. This chapter just has a lot of trees in it, as you'll see. We also grab just a defense and HP tonic, which looks a little silly, but we don't need damage. We just need to make sure that we don't die. And Darkflyer, while a good class, is not well known for its defensive ability. We fly over here, grab the Excalibur, which we will sell for 5,000 gold. We also need to position next to this chest anyway, because enemies can't stand on chests, we'll always have a pathway out. Before doing the same trick that we did before, except this time we're going straight to Mechanist, our final class change of the run. Man, look at those stats.
Yeah, Mechanist is, if I'm not wrong, the dagger-using class with the highest movement.
That's correct.
It also has very good weapon types and very good skills.
That's also correct. We just got the lesser of the two, Golem Bane, which does nothing.
Was that lethal right there?
Only because we had... it would be if we didn't have the tonics.
That's why we tonic.
You do face death on this turn. If you get hit by everyone, you do die. We did not.
You gotta take big risks to save big time.
Sun Tzu, The Art of War. We grab the dual shuriken again as we move on to chapter 23. This is the other chapter where we need Camilla to fly us places, so the support does come in handy here too. We also need all of the tonics. This chapter is quite dangerous. We move Corrin all the way to the bottom, and we move Jakob over here and equip the dual shuriken. These two enemies fly, they attack you. Camilla can't fight them, So we just have to kill him with Jacob, so we have to just wait. There's no alternative options. We want to stay out of these guys' ranges, so that way they don't kill Camilla. Her stats are not really combat capable at this point.
They were so good earlier, though.
They are good enough, however, to not die to this unit. Leaving her unequipped actually saves time. If you do enough damage to this Falco Knight who's attacking, she'll run away to go heal, and that costs time. Our Jacob has so much strength, I can just use the Eel Shuriken and just completely slaughter everyone here. We also grab Replicate, a very important skill. We'll talk about it more when we use it. If you are worried, don't be. Jacob does face death on this turn as well. That is 31 strength, which I believe is our strength cap.
As well as A-rank shurikens, which gives us another point of might.
That's right. We move on to Chapter 24. Remember those doors we were talking about that we had to open? This is the map where we have to open them. This map is a whole stealth map where you do nothing but dodge enemies until the final turn of the map. Now, if you don't have somebody with lock touch, you actually have to fight these enemies to get the key that is on them. And that will spawn in a whole bunch more enemies. Which is bad.
Yeah, it sounds like it would take a lot of time.
It does. If you end your turn in any individual unit's range, before you open the last door, it will also spawn those enemies.
So even though we're in range right now, they won't spawn the enemies until next turn.
That's right. And we're going to end the... actually, it won't spawn the enemies at all because we open the door. Because that's how it works for some reason. Not killing that ninja is actually very important, because it means now Makoto will attack us without being backed up by additional units. So it dodges an attack stance.
And that animation, as we all know, takes a couple of seconds, which are important.
It's better if we can avoid an attack stance without doing more work, we should.
Speaking of attacks...
yeah, we are going to do Dwyer's Paralogue right now. As you can see, I don't even bother undeploying the vast majority of our units, and I just immediately go over here, equip the steel, pair here, and the boss moves first, and is dead.
So that's the paralogue requirement completed in, like, one enemy phase action, whereas other paralogs that were considered to be picked take like upwards of 3 minutes. This one took 40 seconds from save to save.
And I'm gonna be honest, I think I played that a little slow.
I think I might have split late as well.
Anyway, buy 2 stat boosters here, 1 Draco Shield, 1 Speed Wing, and of course we get the Talisman from Dwyer's Paralogue. Another reason to pick Jacob is a free Talisman. And while res isn't that important, it does come up, particularly on this chapter. One of the skills we picked up earlier is Replicate. if you're unfamiliar with replicate, it allows you to make a copy of the unit that uses it. So check out this cool trick.
What's better than one Jacob?
2 Jacobs. We're gonna pair one Jacob with Xander and the other with Corin. This chapter is the most dangerous in the entire run, I would say. There's a lot of enemies you need to kill, and basically all of them are a threat to kill you.
Yeah, and because of the way that replicate works, the 2 Jacobs actually share 1 HP bar. So if one of these threatening enemies lands an attack on either of them, they both get hurt. So in a way,
luckily,
that talisman we just used counts for double.
Yeah, in that sense it does. And it is particularly important because there is quite a few magic enemies on this chapter. We go down here in this position in particular because that also baits over those 2 merchants on the right. We grab some more bulk off that level up and then go up here to the top. We pop a concoction despite the fact that we've taken almost no damage because we need all the HP we can get for these turns. Though we are lucky enough to get some clutch dodges here. In a previous practice run that I had done of this, Jacob went down to 2 HP, so I had to spend several turns healing. But as it turns out, so I waited on these elevators because I was like, well, if I have to stand here and heal, I might as well not watch the elevators move. Turns out that was faster all along.
Because you don't have to watch the elevators move?
I actually don't know why. I just know that it is.
Cool. Well, what's important is you found it.
That's right. These enemies are quite scary.
Yeah, we glossed a little bit over the strength of these enemies because our Jacob is just kind of melting them, but those merchants even that he was fighting against last turn are like some of the bulkiest enemies in the whole game. It's extremely hard to one-round KO them.
Yeah, we have met the benchmark, but you do actually need to have, I think, 30 strength to do it. That's with all of our completely ridiculous skills. Anyway, we now move off because we do need to hit these 3 Dragon Veins to destroy 3 chains holding that room in place. Because that's how this chapter works.
Right, and this is an instance where Jacob is going to have to switch to Corin in order to pop the Dragon Vein.
That's right. Now luckily, we have a second Jacob. We don't want to pop the Dragon Vein until it is time for us to reach. So we are going to go over here and do this one, but we're not going to pop the Dragon Vein that Ryoma is going to get. Who, yes, we did just deploy to pop this one Dragon Vein. Anyway, now's the time, so we're going to get rid of this Dragon Vein, end the turn. The elevator is going to move down here. And provided that we don't miss, it's just that simple. Take out Sumeragi and get us out of here. Chapter 26 has a little bit going on. We're going to take advantage of a unit who we have that is not free or a unit that we drafted in Dwyer. Your child unit comes free with your parent. So we will take advantage of that right now. We're going to give Dwyer 2 boots and the rescue staff. This allows us to not have to promote him and still give him enough movement that we need to do all that we want. This movement is important because we need to go exactly right here and get this exact rescue to kill Gunter on turn 1. And we get a nice, juicy, blank level up.
Is that
As we head
Bifrost
into-
worth 5,000 gold?
It sure is. And anyway, we got to do one last shopping trip because we got to sell a bunch of items in order to have enough gold to buy all the things I need to buy. I start by buying a Seraph robe for additional bulk. And then I grab the last weapon we need of the run, the Soldier's Knife. For any unfamiliar, the Soldier's Knife is a brave weapon. I don't know why they didn't call it the Brave Knife, but they didn't.
Yeah, because of that decision, it took us a little while to realize it was there, but once we did, we made some pretty good use of it.
You do need to have at least 29 strength in order to one round Anankos' head here. We don't need anything fancy, it's just one dance from Azura. I definitely did not forget the Soldier's Knife. Azura will get a level up, very nice, and as you can see, we do 21 times 4.
That's a lot of damage.
It is. Fate's Brave weapons have this really unfortunate effect where they have your strength until the next until the next attack. Which does make using the Brave weapons a little complicated, but that gets a little bit easier when you have Replicate. We pair Ryoma to Xander for reasons that you'll see later. And before using our last set of tonics, we give Ryoma the Res tonic because it's our last tonic we have left.
And we have so many competent flunkies that we don't even need to deploy Camilla.
Yeah, she actually slows us down on this map. It's preferable to have Reyna, actually.
Why is that?
Speed. Jakob, our Jakob does do it, I believe. But if your Jakob doesn't do it, the additional speed you get from Reyna is actually going to be enough to allow you to double the last form of the final boss. Anyway, we're fighting the final boss now, actually. This is Anankos. Anankos has 4 health bars, effectively. 2 claws, the head, and then the eye. And the eye is really fast. Ryoma does this cool thing where he almost dies. Luckily, thanks to Guard Gauge, he will live, and that enemy does have just enough HP that we can kill him. So we're going to do that.
Anyone who's played Fates will recognize this as what we call Ryoma nonsense.
That's right. Anyway, we're going to go over here. Soldier's Knife, this claw as well. You do have to use this Jakob, because this is the Jakob that gets boosted by supported. We're then going to go right here next to Azura and kill this guy. And then we're going to dance. Because we're going to run over here and kill this guy, I believe. No, we're just going to Concoction.
We're going to Concoction and let everyone die.
That's right.
We do not need them anymore. Except Ryoma, I guess, is just going to live because of the aforementioned.
Sprint and dodge. This is not necessary, but it actually does save us a bit of time.
It's extremely in
Of
character.
course, that's up a Guard Gauge.
Typical
I get very
Ryoma
lucky
nonsense.
here. I'll admit. Anyway, we can Soldier's Knife here. This does not kill, not quite. Luckily, we have Jakob too, who is more than capable of getting the finishing blow here.
Right, the finishing blow of the 3rd health bar.
And anyway,
Out of
I'm
4.
gonna move over here, attack this guy, so that way I can kill him on enemy phase, provided that I
Can
live.
they finally take down Ryoma? Not yet.
And there he goes. He goes down.
He gave it his best.
Now, notably, Xander lives there, and surely that won't matter. Anyway, we're gonna unfortunately not quite have the damage, except psych. Yes, we do. Remember, I gave Xander Siegfried, so I could use his attack stance to get him killed, but it resets the soldier's knife. So I now have full strength again for the closeout.
And that's it.
And that is how you sub 110 Fire Emblem Revelations draft race.
That's right. Grab the other.
What was your time again? 29:50 something?
Yeah, I'm grabbing the screenshot of it now. Oh man, do I have one?
Oh, do you not?
I don't know. Let's cut here and then I'll bring it up.
Okay.
There we go. So our time is 29:49 plus 39:49. That is a lot of 9s.
Crazy that they're both 49.
Pull up the calculator. Let me live stream calculating this in real time. Window.
We are professionals.
Calculator. 29. Wait, this won't even work.
No, this is not a time calculator.
29 plus 39. Are there time calculators? Is that a real thing? Not on this.
Yeah.
Oh, time. Wow.
Oh, see?
Wow, that's crazy. Okay. 29 minutes and seconds. Oh, it converts minutes to seconds.
Well, that's not what we want.
That's not at all what we want. What if I do 29 colon? No, there's no colon. Is there a way to do this?
I guess not on this calculator app. No.
Yeah, not on this calculator, unfortunately. Okay, let's.
There's an online time calculator that I use.
Time calculator.
Yeah, it's by its calculator.
Yeah. There we go. 29 minutes, 49 seconds, plus 39 minutes and 49 seconds. Now let me pull it up. So Firefox. All right.
Did it calculate?
No, I didn't click the button yet. I'm gonna click the button live on stream. Okay, 29:49 plus 39:49 is 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 38 seconds. The sub 110.
The sub 110. This was really hard to do.
Yeah, this run took quite a few tries to pull off.
And it's definitely consistent, as you could tell from the final.
Exactly. I think the biggest question mark, if you're going for this strategy, is going to be like your Jakob's strength.
For sure.
Because we'd have to try a couple of times in order to get a Jakob with good enough strength to pull off all of the all of the one-round KOs at the end there, but it also helped earlier on because a weaker Jakob would not have one-shot many of the enemies that he came across. He would have one-rounded them, but that's a few seconds slower times however many combats.
But it isn't that bad if you fail the benchmarks. There is, of course, the energy drop in the shop where we did a bunch of stat booster purchases, which you can buy. And you can make the other shop and upgrade it for an additional energy drop. So you have access to 2 energy drops.
Yeah, the ending there is fairly dynamic in what you'll need to buy, which is why we hoarded all of the 5,000 gold chests that we found. First, we needed to spend all that money on the seals, and then later we needed to buy 2 or 3 stat boosters. It adds up.
It's also why I sold 90% of our inventory in Chapter 18.
Yeah, everything that could be sold was.
Just about.
Yeah. Closing thoughts?
Yeah.
Jakob
no.
Good.
Oh, true.
Jakob Good. I've yet to see any other unit pull off a time like this, but I'm sure it's doable. But I think Jakob is probably a little bit easier to do it with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we lost the race regardless, so who cares? But this is the potential of Jakob carry, the sub 110. That otherwise, I don't think this has been achieved. I think this is the fastest it's ever been done.
This is the fastest for now.
Yeah, for now. Records will always be broken. But until then, we'll be here in this video showing off the current record.